Hey y'all, it's Healer Auset. I am here with holistic soul healing, holistic community healing, holistic education healing, holistic just come get your mind right healing. I'm going to see you every single week right here on our network. Not just for the people, we are the people.
Hey y'all, hey. It is Mama Auset and you are back with me for another wonderful episode. This episode is so special to me because Sista, you've been on my mind. But before we even get started, I need to make sure that you like, share, follow. You are on our network, not just for the people. We are the people. Welcome to Holistic Soul Healing, the beautiful green couch. I do have some wonderful guests that will be joining us. So I'm excited about the next series that y'all are going to get. And we about to do some work. So I'm going to pay a couple of bills really quick and talk to you about VPAC just so that we can get right into the topic. So first and foremost, if you have a dancer, we are super excited to announce that we are now in partnership with Studio Blue at Fieldhouse in Aurora. Shout out to Mama Shernay. She and I have been dreaming about this moment, and she actually manifested it on the side of seeing the studio actually be born. I'm so proud. And this is where our new home is, where you can get training, you can get fitness, you can do all of the things. And I'm going to make sure that we continue to create spaces for young performers, right? And we want you to tell a dancer to tell a dancer. Tuition is $200 a month. This gets you all of your technical training. This gets you all of your performance training, choreography, and it prepares you to do all of our big productions. We're excited that we are in our 20th year this month. Hey, 20 years of doing VPAC for the Denver metro area. It's been such an honor to be able to do it. And I'm now passing the torch to my daughter, my godson, my oldest son, and they are taking over the organization and doing a great job. But what also is so incredible about our 20th year is that we're making it full circle. So the first generation of dancers, we took them to New York. And as y'all know, the past couple of years, we've been going to Atlanta. So we are combining it all. So this summer, we're going to be taking our dancers to New York to do some training and do some intensive at Alvin Ailey and Broadway Center of Dance. And then we're going to go to Atlanta and do our summer camp as we usually do for summer solstice. And we will come back to Denver and do our original production. Let me say that again, called Havoc. Our original production, written. The score is original. The music is original. The storyline is based off of them. Like, it's all of these beautiful, beautiful intertwined opportunities for our youth to be on stage, and so that we can develop that they are triple threats, and we are proud to be producing them. So I got the VPAC stuff out the way. Usually, y'all know I spend a whole bunch of time on VPAC, but this topic requires all of the time that I can give towards healing. Today gonna be a healing show. It's gonna be intertwined to community, to education, to VPAC, to all of the things. But the topic is for my sisters. Sister, you've been on my mind. So we got to talk about the celebration of Black womanhood, Black motherhood, and all of the things. And that was the love. And that was the introduction. And that was the celebration. Now it's time for some accountability, because we have to take some responsibility. So as y'all know, I have said throughout this ever since I've been with our network, the Black womb is the original womb. Everyone is traced back to a womb that looks like this, right? Which means that comes with some responsibility. You have to understand the projection of the imitation of Black women, the projection that Black women, right? There's this weird imbalance that everyone wants that Black womanness until it's time to be full Black womanness, right? Sisters, we have a divine feminine responsibility. First and foremost, to the God of your understanding. Second, to ourselves. Third, to each other. Then we go out. Let me explain why this is the way that it is. Right now, in a collective, I'm not going to say every Black woman, because that's not true and you can't make a blanket statement. But when we look at what the full representation is and what we are allowing to be and I'm strongly saying allowing, and what we are allowing to be the representation of who we are in our most divine selves, this falls on us. This falls on us. You can't say that you are the original and not take full responsibility. You can't say that you're the first and not take full responsibility. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no space and grace. That doesn't mean any of those things. But sisters, until we start saying first, our responsibility and obligation is to the Most High, the God of your understanding, Ifa, God, Jesus, Muhammad, however you define it. But if that is what you are called to do, your first and foremost, your responsibility is there. And the energy and the spirit of that is, as I've shared before, our wombs carry 7 generations back of eggs, 7 generations forward of eggs. So we was in 7 generations before us, we was in their womb. And who we are carrying in our womb will go 7 generations forward, which means there is something energetically and spiritually and mentally and physically that we have to take responsibility for. The state of our community, listen, I'm not saying that you need to stay in no crazy relationships. I'm not saying that broken homes is a single mother's fault. I don't believe that. I don't believe any of those things, but I do believe in responsibility. Children need their fathers. Children need the rest of their families. So when we are being consumed in what the ugly truth that we don't want to admit is that there is some nice nastiness. There is some manipulation that happens just with being a woman. Now, this isn't just black, white, yellow, whatever. Just with being a woman. And until we can take some full accountability, because let me tell you something, everybody's going to follow us anyway. Men, I love y'all. I love how strong and resilient and all of the adjectives and descriptions that you can have about being a Black man. But the reality is, sisters, is that it is us who holds the power. It is this that they are going to do what it calls to do. When we raise the standard higher, guess what? Our men will reach it. So if we are saying that we are tired of X, Y, and Z, but we keep feeding into X, Y, and Z, that is our response. That is our fault. When you accept less than, whether it's less than in a man, whether it's less than at a job, whether it's less than in the representation of the tribe you belong to, whatever less than that you accept, I'm saying that very strongly, is on you. Now, let me tell you, you can't cop out. One of the reasons why we as humans accept less than anything is because we don't want to have to do the work. We don't want to have to admit, you know what? I kept this man from his children. You know what? I isolated myself from my family because I had too much pride to admit when I was wrong. You know what? I talked to my children crazy. You know what? I am controlling my children and manipulating them into doing what I want them to do instead of nurturing them to be who they are supposed to be. And sisters, you've been on my mind because I've been witnessing it. One of the things that I've been telling folks, especially my mentors, because I've been having some really real conversations about where did Black parenting stop? When did that stop? The culture, the knowingness, when did that stop? And when you're in education, you see it has stopped. We legit have parenting that isn't happening, whether it's mother, whether it's the father, whoever it is. Parenting, and I'm not talking about beating on your children, whooping they behind, doing nothing. Because when you parent, there is a space in time when that either stops or it doesn't. It's not even necessary, right? And when did that stop within Black culture? Well, I'm going to go back to the mother. I know I'm the first teacher. I'm the first feeder. I'm the first nurturer. I'm the first everything. So the state of my children, the state of the children who are in my circumference, I am a direct reflection of. Judge me not by my material, but judge me by my seed. And when my seed is showing up and doing what, and they know how to respect me and others, right? Because there's also this culture of womanness that we are so entitled. And I'm going to say we, because sisters, I'm not going to isolate and act as it, right? No, I'm in this with you. This is why the responsibility is first to God, then to yourself, then to each other. Stop telling men that they are your reflection. They're not your reflection. When you look in the mirror, you got breasts like I do. I am your reflection. And if you don't have an accountability circle, when you attempt to show up, what happens is that these men are then going to attempt to tell you what your divine feminine is. When I say that you have to take responsibility, it's because you're taking your power back. You give your power away, and you forget that we are the ones who empower. What woman on the planet isn't admiring the specimen of a Black woman? What man on the planet is not admiring the specimen of a Black woman? And when we know that we control all the culture, y'all know this. I'm not saying anything, but you can't make these strong statements and then not take the responsibility and the accountability that comes with it. You can't say I'm the best of the best and and then show up less than. You can't say that you know that Black women are the backbone of every single family or every single whatever, and then not stand strong. See, we have a whole bunch of excuses. If we are saying our men ain't ... well, baby, who you choosing? Who you surrounding yourself around? And who are you accepting those behaviors from? Because I want what I pray for my daughter is that she recognizes that she has the ultimate power. And I don't know about y'all, but I started realizing my power, and sisters, you know this is true, right around puberty, about 12 years old, I realized, and I was a tomboy. Okay, I was a tomboy. I'm playing ball with everybody. And I was like, I got the best basketball players playing with me, and I'm still controlling the whole court. And this ain't got nothing to do with physicality. This ain't have nothing to do with skills. Listen, they was all boys. They always better than me. But it was still the necessary where I was still able to coach them through. When I realized my own power, and I come from a family full of women who are powerful, and I was able to navigate and finally get comfortable in myself. Now, I didn't do it when I was 12. Hell, I didn't do it till I was mid-20s, almost 30, right? But what we as Black women have to understand is we have to stop blaming. Once upon a time, I was blaming. I blame my first husband, blame my second husband, blame my daddy, blame my mama, blame everybody except looking in the mirror and taking full responsibility and say, you know what? I accepted this behavior. I wasn't disciplined enough to do what I had to do. I didn't follow through with what I was saying. I was the one who was the one who needed the work. And sisters, collectively, from the representation, not the sisters that I know, my sisters in my circle, oh no, we hold each other accountable. But sisters, are you being honest with yourself in how you are holding accountability? Or are you blaming? Do you always say, do you even know how to listen anymore? Once upon a time, we understood the most powerful thing you can do is listen. Sisters always want to talk, boy. And I'm not saying not to talk. But I'm saying, like, be wise in what you got to say, baby. Because there's so many women that have relinquished their power. So it is abnormal when women who are very much powerful in who they are in their divine feminine, when we show up, it's so foreign Because the environment, which is the nucleus of any environment, of any community, is the women. You can see the state of a community by looking at the women. So at what point are we going to collectively say, sis, I'm going to hold your hand. Sis, I'm going to be right here with you. And we're going to figure this out together. Who told us that we were in competition with each other? Because that is not our natural selves. Let me say that again. That is not who we are naturally. Naturally, in matriarchal setups, we distribute power. And everyone is empowered in all of the gifts and talents that they have. So when you see women, when I hear women say this, I don't get along with women. Baby, you mad at yourself. Because how you don't get along with yourself? How can you not like you? Oh, well, women are too catty. Have y'all ever noticed that the women who say that are the women who are catty? The women who say, I can't get along with women, are the women who actually project energy to other women. How do you not have sisterhood? Because a man is never going to sharpen your divine femininity. This is another thing. We got to take our power back. Stop letting these men define what womanhood is. Stop letting these men define who you are. I am supposed to come to you, sir, whole, healthy, and clear of who I am. I don't need you to fill in any gaps on who I am. And rightfully so. What happens when we do that, sis? They're going to show up healthy, whole, and with it. And that should not take, if we don't understand, and men, you're going to have to hear this too. But sisters, I'm talking to you today, but this is also a message for the men. Men lead because we allow them to. Let me say that again. Men lead because we put them in the position to, which means what? We crown you king. So if you want to lead, our submission, our willingness, our whatever, that is a gift. That is not a requirement. And when we begin to shift the lens of understanding, I am gifting you with the ability to lead. But baby, please understand, if you can't lead, I know how to get us to point B. This is a gift. You having access to my divine feminine is a gift. And when we stop thinking that there's always these conversations about, can women lead? Can women do whatever? Baby, women been leading. Just because you in the position doesn't mean that you were actually the one leading. And until we can have an honest conversation where men will say, yeah, women do got the power. What did James Brown say? It's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing. Nothing. Without who? Not another man. Because that's some other stuff going on. There is a gift to being able to say, I put you in this position, which means that we have to keep our power. And if you're not worthy, baby, you're not worthy. And sisters, if you trying to build a man still, holding on to some potential, when you got all your stuff together, and I'm not saying not to work with potential. That's not what I'm saying either. But what I am saying is that you shouldn't be losing your power and giving your power away because of it. The other thing that happens is that when we do give our power, we will confuse ourselves, women, and think that withholding our children or withholding something from the men is actually empowerment for us, but it is actually the most disempowering thing that you can do because you are harming the next generation. And as the holder of the next generation, 7 generations forward, 7 generations back, as the holder of the next generation, if you are not giving access to these fathers, if you are not making sure that there is balance and harmony and discipline, right? There's some things that women, we are out of order. And we don't want to have the real conversation. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details that really need to be said amongst the women, but I'm going to give you just enough taste to say who's holding you accountable. Who's making sure that you're divine feminine, not femininity that's going to seduce, not the femininity that's going to manipulate. I'm talking about divinity, where you are requiring everyone around you to operate in their divine self, which means that their God self, they're the self that God created them to be. If you aren't inspiring that as a woman, you are missing the point of the divinity of your femininity. And that's a responsibility. You can't blame nobody. You can't get mad at nobody. You have to stop and say, what did I do in this role? Because at the end of the day, particularly Black women, everybody follows us. Our men follow us. The first in line are our men. I keep seeing this narrative, and I wasn't going to talk no political stuff, but I am going a little bit talk about political stuff. I keep seeing this narrative that Black men didn't vote for Vice President Harris. And it's just not true. And you know who's pushing the narrative the most? Is Black women. You want to know in my humble opinion, who's pushing it the most? It's the Black women who aren't with Black men, who don't surround themselves around Black men. So imagine this narrative, right? And this is, again, the representation. How are we as Black women going to stand and say, actually, 80% of Black men did vote for Vice President Harris? Who's doing the course correction? Because when men protect and provide in this realm. Women protect and provide in this realm, which is why we have the power. So when I see a misrepresentation, especially, and here's the other thing, to Black women who do the black male bashing and all of that, and you have sons, do you understand the damage that you are causing for the next generation? You're causing that damage to your daughters. If you are not implementing, hey, yes, there are some bad apples. No doubt. Even if you got to take even if you got to take responsibility that you may have picked some of the bad apples. But I can't lie. I know more good, excellent, refined Black men than I know bad Black men. My picker is just off. Well, I've been single for 5 years at this point, so I ain't picking nothing. But you've got to but it took responsibility, taking accountability. Let me stop blaming everybody. Let me stop saying I attract these type of, so then what's wrong with me? What's going on with me? And sisters, we have to have these real hard conversations. Because the first thing, if you don't got a relationship with the Most High, the God of your understanding, there ain't no way you can operate in divine feminine. I see all these women walking around with beads on their waist and on all the attire, head wrap up like Badu, all of this stuff, and be the most craziest women of them all, the most imbalanced women of them all. Talking about with an incense in your hand and saging everybody else. Baby, you need to go take a spiritual bath. Right? Then you got the flip side, where you got the women who will expose everything, give themselves completely fine with ratchet culture, doing all of that stuff, and completely out of line, calling men out their names, hollering, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, bringing that energy to them. Baby, you crazy too. And both ends of the spectrum think that they're empowered. Where are our elders? Where are the grown women that are gonna say, baby, come here, let me pull your coattail. You can't be acting like that. But women, we have become such an entitled culture that we won't even take heed to the wisdom. We won't even take heed. We will literally be ready to push all help and aid away to stand on business being loud and wrong. Let me also say this too. Men, you don't need to be the ones calling us out. it has to be women calling out women. The women need to tend to the women, and the men need to tend to the men. It's not my business whether or not you gonna show up and be a good man. What is my business is that I show up and I am an excellent woman, and that I'm surrounding myself with excellent women so that we can say we are showing up. I don't know what it's like to be a man. I don't know what it's like to be in those shoes, and I'm not interested in it. But I'm also not going to cower my strength for your comfort. I'm also right. But sisters, this is what we will do. Ain't no calling out to nobody else but yourself. Because sister, you've been on my mind. You've been on my mind because I am you. You are my reflection. And what are we going to do? So let me I also don't like to call things out and not give solutions. I'm a reader, a spiritual and energy reader. So if you need to get a reading, definitely go to www.healerausetmariam.com and you can come and get a reading. I do, all of the readings are unlimited time. And then I am on call for you for 2 weeks because I do shift energy. And when I shift energy, things can happen. And I don't want you having to come back and get another reading. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I've been doing this for very long time. And I love it. I love being able to heal. I love to be able to, and I don't do the healing. All I am is a vessel. God just uses me to remind you of who you are. And it should be very affirmational. It shouldn't be like, sometimes it's new information. I need to stop saying that. But it is. I'm not a psychic. This is not a psychic. In my humble opinion, psychics are not real because you always have this beautiful thing called choice. And so I just give you the information so that you can make the decision on how you want to show up and how you want to be held accountable. And sisters, I absolutely strongly suggest to do your own work and to start with the reading. Then from a reading, you can go to your LFD treatment. So I do lymphatic detox frequency and, lymphatic frequency detox. And then it's called LFD. And this is where I literally am treating your entire lymphatic system. This is the holistic doctor in me, making sure that you are getting all of that. The nice thing about LFD is that it's also body contouring. So it's naturally giving you that BBL look without you having to go through surgery, without you having to do whatever. Because when you drain your lymphatic system, you're actually draining everything, and then you get your shape, and you also have to be eating right, also have to be drinking your water, also have to be exercising. But it is a natural way to do body contouring, and I love it. I've been doing treatment since I've been in Denver. I've been in Denver for a second. So I do them in Denver. I also do them in Atlanta, and everybody is seeing results immediately. It drains you though. It is a release. So you got to be ready to do your work because it does actually drain. Mucus is coming out of your body, but not just mucus, that energy, the spirits that you might be holding on to. A lot of stuff comes out, and I hold that space for you to be able to do that. And finally, I am excited to share that I am doing a retreat in June, and it will be LFD treatments, it will be yoga, it will be healthy eating, it'll be readings, it'll be all things get your mind right from June 22nd to the 26th. And this is going to be in the mountains. I'm taking you all the way up in the mountains right now. It's a 5-day retreat, $3,500. If you book before April 15th, you get $500 off. After April 15th, it goes to $4,000, but it is going to be all about healing, and the spots are limited. I only have, I think there's 7. I think there's 7 spots left. So make sure that you come and get your 8 and get your spot reserved. It's open for men and women. I know we're talking about sisters today, but this is a retreat for men and women to come get your mind right, come get your spirit right, come do all of that. It's also around the spring equinox intentionally so that you can spring into action and have a strong 6 months of your year and hopefully reset your whole selves. But That's the healing work that I do. So I'm not going to be out here, sister, talking all of this stuff and not say, here's an opportunity to give a solution, right? Also, I do couples readings. I do couple therapy. I do all of the things that can help you be your best self. But we're going to work on self first because it's real. It's real, sisters. The state of everything literally can lie in our hands when we collectively take our power back. When we collectively say, I'm going to be a sister. I'm not going to be a sister who's always talking mess. I'm not going to be a sister. I'm going to actually intentionally go and continue to grow my sisterhood. I'm going to not be afraid, right? Because sometimes we will hold on to relationships and friendships because of the historical context and not be willing to admit, this isn't serving me anymore. This relationship isn't, this friendship isn't, right? We will hold on to things because once we let it go, it requires us to do our work. Once we release, it requires you to show up and take accountability. And a lot of times, what do they say? Ignorance is bliss. Because when you can be comfortable, and until, sisters, we get into a place where we are comfortable being uncomfortable because we're so confident in who we are foundationally, there's no reason for us to be feeling the way that we do, where we are blaming everybody. We won't even listen. I have one of my things that I do to kind of release myself is I watch dating shows, right? So I don't watch them through the season, but I watch the reunion. So I'm watching some of these reunions and seeing these women lack accountability or create a mountain out of a molehill, right? Like, to see the lack of critical thinking. And again, I'm not saying that this is the blanket collectiveness of women. That's not what I'm saying. However, I am saying that it's so strong to where you recognize that something is not cohesive in the collective Black womanhood sisterhood right now. And if we're going to lie to ourselves, you probably need to find a new group of sisters, because we got to stop the lying. We got to stop fronting. We got to stop playing this martyr stuff. We got to stop, right? Like, we have to put, if our community is going to heal, it is going to be at the hands of the woman, not the men. The men, part of the reason why the men ain't there is because of the women. But we don't want to have that conversation. Part of the reason why our children are acting a fool is because a lot of times our women we have forgotten how to mother. It don't got nothing to do with single or married. I done seen married mothers acting a fool where I'm like, well, since when do Black mamas do that? Since when do Black mamas treat their children like this? Or we need to have some real conversations, because it's been happening and we haven't been admitting it, because that generational trauma is real. But it's going to be us, sisters. Stop looking for a savior. Stop looking for a positionality. Because the truth is if you really thought that someone in a space of power was going to actually come and save the day for you, you still making excuses and not wanting to do your work, because you shouldn't be looking for no savior. You should be looking for, how do I contribute to the solution? Sitting around waiting for somebody is actually one of the problems. You waiting on a husband. You waiting on your sister. You waiting on your mama and daddy. You waiting on everybody else instead of getting up off this couch and going to do your work. Sister, you've been on my mind because, baby, it's getting exhausting. And I have both sides of the fence. What I won't say, though, is I'm not going to say that this is only a Black woman's issue, but I am going to say that Black women, we have the most power in all of it. In all of it. And when we take our power back and hold ourselves responsible, then we will begin to see the change. Because everybody follows us, even our men. As much as they gonna say, I don't follow no woman and I'm the leader of this house. You are. Because I let you be. See, I don't ask you for your hand in marriage. You ask me for mine. Because you understand you need my permission to be in the position that you want to be in. But somehow we done forgot that. Somehow we have forgotten that we hold the power. We just know how to distribute it and allow people to shine in what they need to shine in. We forgot. So, sister, it's up to us. I might have some women mad at me, and that's okay. That is quite all right. Because if you really do disagree with my position, come sit on the couch and let's have a conversation. Because I don't talk without facts. I don't talk without statistics. So when you can show me the statistics that women being self-centered and forgetting that they are the nucleus of the family and the community, when you can bring that to me and show that it has actually done good for us, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. The state of Black women, if this is the state that is going to take us to the next level, I'll shut up. I don't care about you being the most educated, because guess what? Men don't care about you being the most educated either. Your children don't care about you being the most educated. Your elders don't care about you. You are educated for you. Because our children, our men, our elders, and our peers don't need us to be overeducated and not know how to engage. Not know how to nurture. That piece of paper don't mean nothing at the end of the day if you don't know how to treat people right. You can have all the degrees, I hear that all the time. Black women are the most educated group. And the Black community is also the brokest. Like, at what your individualism, that's Eurocentricity. That's European folks getting up in your head. Because we're also the most unmarried. We're also, we're also all of these things, which I don't think is anything wrong with it per se. But I will say, don't be out here in judgment seats talking about other groups and you're not doing the internal work yourself. Stop blaming everybody. When are you going to show up for you? Because, sister, I need you. I need you. I need the sisterhood that's going to say, I'm going to hold you accountable, and here's my expertise of what I can bring. I need to be able to come within the sisterhood and say, here's my expertise of what I can bring. I don't have any less love for any other women, but who I identify with is Black women. And so those women, and to be amongst the elite of women, because we are the original, because it is our womb, because everyone on this planet ties back to me, there is a greater responsibility. I know you tired. Well, you know why you tired? Because you're not properly distributing the power. You know why you tired? Because you trying to live up to the Eurocentric idea of Black womanhood. Being the one that everybody calls, being the one that has all the, you don't have to do that. You can absolutely say, let me empower you to do what you're supposed to do, and they will do it better just to make sure that they have the support and grace, love, affection of a Black woman. No matter what they say. No matter what they say. They can lie, talk about it all they want to. There is some mimicking happening. There is something is influential of Black womanhood. You prove me wrong. You want our men to be better? Then you show up better. You want our children to be better? Then you show up better. You can't blame social media. You can't blame TV. You can't blame, because guess what? You are the mother. Turn it off. Take it. Hold the standard so the men will show up. If we collectively, women showed up, because see, the reason why men will do the same thing. It's comfortable, so I'm going to go there. But if we collectively said, no, sister, you, and me, we all going to raise the standard, the men don't have a choice. The men don't have a choice. They going to fold before we do, always. So until we set the standard, and listen, same with our children. You accepting your children doing whatever craziness, your children acting a fool when they 20, it's because you allowed them to act a fool when they was 10. And if you don't want to have these real conversations and say, listen, I know my power. You know how I know my power? Because I contributed to making sure that my family shifted. And it wasn't because I was married. It wasn't because there was a man next to me. It's because I took responsibility and accountability for myself and gave the greatest example. So now everyone in my family does the same thing. And I do not cower in saying I know the power that I hold in my family. Sisters, where you at? You been on my mind. I love y'all. I know I kind of went in today. And if it was an intimate sisterhood circle, for those of you who are part of my sisterhood circle, you know that we go into details and we dive even deeper than this. But this is enough surface. See, not everybody needs to be privy to every conversation. However, it's getting so out of hand that there's got to be a peak of somewhere where women are holding women accountable. Same is true. There's so much comfort and relief when we see men holding men accountable. We got to stop. The battle of the sexes has got to end. Because, baby, you ain't never going to be able to tell me how to be a woman. And I'm not interested in any way on how to tell you how to be a man. We can tell each other how to treat each other. We can share what it takes to be balanced to each other. But to be a man, not my business. To be a woman, not your business. I appreciate y'all. I'm excited for the next show. We're going to be talking about generational trauma, mothers with their daughters, and My Only is going to be our guest. So make sure that you are tuned in for next week because it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful show. Maybe it'll be part 2. Maybe it won't. We're going to see. But I'm excited. I am your host, Healer Auset, Miriam, Mama Auset, Dr. Auset, Mama, whatever you want to call me everything that is beautiful and divine. Because I will answer, because I know it comes from me. Thank you for being with us. You are on our network, not just for the people. We are the people. Make sure you like, share, and follow. Click that little bell so that every time we do a show, we are airing a show, you get that notification. I'm not the only person on this wonderful network. There are so many other folks doing wonderful, wonderful work representing the culture. So make sure that you tune in. And going into 2025, I am looking for folks who want to come on the green couch and actually give me the space to start doing some healing work with you live. So if you are interested, go ahead and make sure that you leave a comment at the bottom of this show so that we can get you in and do a quick little intake process. I only need 4 or 5. So I need 4 or 5 folks who are going to be courageous enough to say, hey, this is my issue, Mama said. Can you do some healing work with me? And we're going to do some real live healing work so you can see it in action. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Sister, you be on my mind. You stay on my mind. I am you and you are me. Let's heal our community together. Peace.
Hey y'all, it's Healer Auset. I am here with holistic soul healing, holistic community healing, holistic education healing, holistic just come get your mind right healing. I'm going to see you every single week right here on our network. Not just for the people, we are the people.